Hello, Tiger fans. Thanks for joining us for a new week of Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we look around Tiger and Lady Tiger basketball. We start with the Lady Tiger basketball team. Went to Kingsport, Tennessee this past weekend after the Thanksgiving holiday and picks up 2 big wins. Ginger High Colvin joins me. And Coach, first of all, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I know it's short when you wrap the basketball games in there, but I hope you had some time with family and all that stuff.
I did. We had a great Thanksgiving. I always go back to the old home log cabin, and it was a little chilly, but it was good. And all of our redneck cousins come in, so we had a good Thanksgiving.
Now, when they talk, do they say our redneck cousins
Guarantee
come
it.
in when you and Greg show up? So it's a little bit of give and take there. But and I know you hosted a Friendsgiving with Kobe's bunch. So
yes, but I wasn't allowed. I'm still in that mom zone where I'm not allowed in. But there was a lot of laughter, and I think it went well too.
Full bellies, a lot of laughter, and all the fun stuff that goes with that. You have the quick Thanksgiving. You get on a bus. Your old pal Robert Taylor comes to pick you up. I know anytime RT makes his way to Tiger Town, that's always a fun trip, to say the least.
Oh, it's fun. And Sylvia, his wife, came and made the trip with us too. And that's their neck of the woods, Johnson City. So they were able to come back and forth. And Sylvia, we got to be able to see Sylvia. They've just become family with us, and since 2015, it's just we keep in touch, and they're just great people.
One of my favorite times of the year is going to the national tournament and breaking bread with Robert Taylor over breakfast most mornings. He's there a little earlier than I get there, but he'll hang out and wait.
And he's got a little Bucky's obsession right now.
Okay.
So and Hootie allows it. So I told them, I said, I'm the ace of spades, and these decisions are being made without me. But he says the bus just has to wheel into the Bucky's.
It just pulls in. Well, let's talk about basketball. Reinhardt on Friday, you had the long layoff. And I know as a coach, that's a double-edged sword. It's good. You can work on yourselves. You can do things, conditioning, all that fun stuff. But after 3 weeks, I'm sure your team was ready to see someone in an opposing jersey.
I know they were worn out and just ready to get out and get to a game. And we were watching all the rest of these teams play, and then we're having to come in and practice every day. But I thought they handled it really, really well. And then coming in and playing a Reinhardt, who I felt was really good. You know, you're just worried that rust is going to get on you in a little bit, and that was my major concern. And then Maddie Nally, who's been injured all of the beginning of the season, was able to come back. And I knew, that's her first game, and she's still not 100%, so we were worried about that. And then Bree Gowdy's sick. We had to leave her at home. Just a lot of unknowns going into it.
Well, Reinhardt, I think 7-1 as you guys took to the floor there in the conference center in Kingsport, and a fast start for you guys. You're able to jump out and get them in a tough spot early. The 2 games were almost opposite of one another, the way that they played out, but you're able to get a bit of a lead on Reinhardt, put them behind. And it's a team that was projected to finish, I think, 3rd or 4th in their league, but they had wins over all those around them, 1, 2, and 3, or whatever that was before the weekend. So obviously a good opponent.
Yeah, it really was. They're just athletic, get after it. They have a good guard, a really good post player. She's so crafty, and it was, now you look at it, and it was a really good for us to go against those kids, and they shot it well. So just everything in a scout that you go against, or that you have to go against, I felt like our kids were locked in and did a pretty good job. And then, of course, when you have Lauren Lee, things seem to go a little bit easier.
Well, I buried the lead. Lauren Lee had 31 for the Lady Tigers. It was a 20-plus point win over Reinhardt, and Coach 31. And the efficiency right now, it's usually 25, 30, whatever it is, on 8, 10, maybe 12 shots, going to the free throw line a ton. There's no other way to say it. She's just really fun to watch right now.
She is. She's fun to watch, and she's fun to coach. She's so smart, and she plays so hard on both ends of the floor. If you've got a kid that's that talented offensively, they tend to take the defensive end off, and Lauren doesn't do that. And she just knows what's going on. She knows what's going on with everybody on the floor. Our kids respect her, love her, and she's just the perfect leader for our team. And she's playing great basketball, and I love to see it.
Now she gets the Offensive Player of the Week award. We'll look at some numbers here in just a moment. Tyra Flowers, I believe, had 7 steals in the game against Reinhardt. 12 on the weekend. She was Defensive Player of the Week. It's a pretty nasty little 1-2 punch you've got cooking right there.
And we restarted the game on the way back. The second game, Tyra had 4 blocks. I don't think that she was credited. And then in the stat sheet, charges taken don't show up. Tyra took, I think, 3 or 4 charges over the weekend, and her the 7 steals, yes, that's great, but there's no telling how many she created on top of that. She's just everywhere. I love her game right now, and she's starting to be more offensive minded, which I just keep pounding into her, and her explosiveness is so fun to watch.
We'll take a look at the numbers for the win over Faulkner there. You talking about Tyra and her game. She had one where she brought it down the floor when I was watching, and again, it's a dynamic skill set. Lauren Lee had 21 in the victory over Faulkner, 7 rebounds. Whitney Hay with 14 and 9, and again, Tyra Flowers there, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 steals. A terrific performance from her. In that Faulkner game, Coach, they kind of got after you early a little bit. I don't know if it was any tired legs the second day, whatever it may have been, but that game was really kind of in a phone booth for a while. It was a sloppy kind of first half. They made it messy. It reminded me of some old games with Cumberland's almost, where you just couldn't get into any type of rhythm. Finally found your footing later.
Yeah, we missed some easy shots, some shots that I feel like that are your rhythm shots that you get you going into the game. But credit to Faulkner. I thought they did a good job against us. They were very physical with Lauren, too physical. Probably should have been whistled a lot more than it was, but off the ball there was a lot of holding and she just never blinked, never complained. But kept us out of our rhythm for just a little bit, but it didn't keep us out of it just too long. I feel like we battled even when we didn't shoot the ball extremely well, and they did. They came out and knocked some shots down, and their point guard is out. They do expect to get her back, and she's probably their best player. When they get her back, I feel like they'll be hard to deal with in that league.
The Lady Tigers get a pair of wins down in Kingsport this past weekend. They come back home. They'll have finals week, a little rest, and get ready for a matchup on Saturday with Midway in the Powell Athletic Center. We'll step away and actually, I take that back. It's Carolina University. We'll step away here. We'll come back and preview that game with Carolina University here on Tiger Timeout.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we continue talking with head coach Ginger High Colvin of Lady Tiger Basketball. Campbellsville gets the wins down in Kingsport. They return home this week. Carolina University awaits on Saturday in the Powell. It's a 1 o'clock start between Campbellsville and Carolina. And Coach, now you get back finals week. So Thanksgiving, basketball games, finals week. We got another basketball game on Saturday. Talk to me about balancing this week for the Lady Tigers, getting them through to the finish line this semester.
The one thing about the girls is the finals week, I never really have a lot of problems with them. They're very efficient in the classroom, and most of them have either made it out of that class without having to take the final. If they do have the final, most of them aren't burning the midnight oil. They're pretty good planners. And this week, and then on the bus ride, you see the girls, they're studying on the bus ride and getting their stuff done. Now, the busy work, they do wait a little bit later to get done, but finals week is hopefully a time for us just to get in the gym a little bit more, let them get in, work on their shot, and practice some more. But it is out of what our normal week is like, but we're okay with that. We're ready to roll.
The Lady Tigers welcome in Carolina University. Let's look at the numbers of this matchup between Carolina and Campbellsville. The Lady Tigers meeting Carolina for the first time in the series history here as they transition from an NCCAA school to an NAIA program. 6-0 for Campbellsville, 6-3 Carolina. You can see some of the other numbers there. Coach, when you look at this Carolina roster, a lot of unknowns there, and I'm sure this is one that you really have to sink your teeth into from a scouting standpoint.
It is. I got started on them yesterday. They're very balanced, and that's one thing that sometimes it's a little easier to scout a team when they have just that one or two kids to go to, but they're very balanced. They rebound the ball extremely well. They're physical. They're athletic. I've not figured out each player as it goes yet, but we'll dive into that a little bit more today. They play some zone, so we'll have to work on some zone this week. They press, so there's some things that we haven't seen much of so far in them. I haven't seen them do anything but zone yet, and that'll be something that we have to spend the week working on.
And you get, as a coach, early in the year, especially before you get to conference play, how much of that, is it a good thing to see something new, but then it's a little scary because it's a bit of an unknown? So at least you get a chance to work on it.
It's a really good thing to see something new. We need to go against a team that plays that. Like I say, we've had a few teams play a few possessions of it, and we've gotten by with it. But this team's going to lock down and play mostly zone, or at least they did their first game. I'll see more today, but it'll be really good for us to go out and go against that.
A quick look ahead at the rest of the Lady Tigers schedule here over the course of the first semester. Of course, Carolina this weekend, that's a 1 o'clock start. They'll go to Columbia, Kentucky next weekend, the 13th and 14th. Oakland City and Shawnee State await, and then Montana Tech and Carroll College down in Chandler, Arizona, the Phoenix area, the 18th and 19th. And we believe those games are at 4 Eastern and 2 Eastern. We'll double check the times and give you that information in next week's show. But Coach, a busy end of the semester. And before we wrap up this segment, a birthday. We got a birthday this week. Miranda Denny, one extra candle on the cake.
One extra candle on the cake. Yeah, Hootie's birthday's today, and I'm sure the girls will help us celebrate her pretty well. She needs to be celebrated, that's for sure.
And one Somerset native to another, you'll make the trip to Somerset Southwestern High School and add Kinsley Molden to the fold this week.
We will check that last list off, and then we had another really big commitment from the 26th class, and so we're excited about Kinsley. She's a really good shooter, just gritty as it gets. She fits right in that Lady Tiger mold, and we're super excited about her. Today snowed, so we didn't get to go over today, but we'll go get the name on the paper tomorrow. But we're really excited about Kinsley.
That class is certainly shaped up to be a terrific one for you, and I know that 26th edition and that class is it's already starting to take shape as well.
Yeah, and you throw the freshmen that we have already in with that group. I'm just super excited. I think it's one of the most solid, if not the most solid. It's one of the most solid freshman groups we've ever brought in here. I'm afraid to say that first year we brought
You've had some good ones.
We had some slam dunks in there, but I think this group is going to be one that everybody's going to really, really enjoy to watch.
Coach, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
The Lady Tigers in action in the Powell Center on Saturday, 1 o'clock start time. Coverage begins on 88.7 The Tiger at 12:45 as the third-ranked Lady Tigers take on Carolina University. We'll step away, take a break here, come back and visit with the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, here on Tiger Timeout.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Tiger Timeout continues here on the CU Sports Network. Matt Payton with you as we transition over to Tiger basketball on the road this past weekend in Kingsport, just like the Lady Tigers. And the Tigers get a split with IU Kokomo. And then on Sunday, a win over Oakland City. The head coach, Brent Vernon, joins me. Coach, it's been a busy first semester for the Tigers. And when we talk about Kingsport, you also had that early game in Mount Vernon, Ohio against Mount Vernon Naz on Tuesday, and you look at your week, it's kind of a microcosm of your season to this point. It's busy, hectic, throw in the Thanksgiving holiday, some tough luck losses in there, a big win. It's just been kind of that type of first semester for you guys.
It has. It's been an ebb and flow. Not quite where we want to be, but I know it's hard. We're close. I really believe that, and 5 losses now in the year, obviously way more than we wanted by like a combined 24 points. A lot of one-possession games. Tough one in Mount Vernon Naz. They did a great job early. We did a fantastic job fighting back, and then it was just back and forth, and they made a few plays down the stretch. I think we had exerted a little too much energy getting back into the game, and Kokomo played really well for about 30, 32 minutes, and you got to give them credit making a shot basically at the buzzer to get us. So we're really close. I think we're making improvements. Sometimes I know from an outsider's point of view it's hard to see, but we are making strides, and we get a good break now to really sort of reset a little bit and try to finish this second part of the season off really strong.
And let's be honest, last week, I don't know that a college basketball team can have a busier week. You leave on Monday to go play an 11 a.m. game, you get back Wednesday, Thursday, you've got the Thanksgiving holiday. You try to give the guys some time. Friday, you've got to leave to go 4 more hours down to Kingsport, 2 ball games, back late Sunday. I mean, you talk about pushing it to the max. That's about as much as you can ask.
It is, and honestly, the whole month of November, it's sort of been like that for our guys, and you can really sit back and question my scheduling. It's not been, you
got to take them when you can get them.
You do, and it's hard to find some games at times, and with the classics, they're needed because it helps us get games. At times you're doing your guys a little bit of injustice with so many back-to-backs. You can't prepare the way you want to and teach them some of the things that we're trying to teach about how important the game plan is because it's such a quick turnaround. We were fortunate enough we got the Western Kentucky game in the middle of that really 2-week stretch of just game after game, but you can't turn it down a D1 exhibition for your guys and your program and what it means. So it's been a long November. It's been a tough November, but I do think we've learned a lot and gotten better, and I think it's going to make us better through December, January, February, and March.
Well, let's talk briefly about the Kokomo game, Coach, and a 2-point defeat there. And you had some chances late, and the offense may have stalled at times. Keyston Brown does hit that big shot, and you feel pretty good about that, but then coming back, Chin down the court quickly, unable to kind of pick him up, match up quick enough, and he hits a tough shot on the inline to kind of get you right there.
Yeah, we've been a team, we've played pretty fast for the most part this year, and we've scored quite a few points, but unfortunately we've given up more than we wanted. Defensively, we were pretty good. You give up 61. If anybody tells me that going into any game, I'm going to tell you we're going to win. But unfortunately, we only got to 59, and where we had been playing really fast and pushing the ball, it was one of those we've struggled finishing a few games as we've lost some of these close ones. So we got to that 4 and 5 minute stretch, and instead of playing as fast as we normally do, as a coach, I'm just trying something different. We sort of slowed the game down, try to make it a little bit more of a possession game. And for but the last really 35, 45 seconds, I thought it actually played out really well for us. We did have a turnover or two and a bad shot, but we were doing what we needed to do to make sure our defense was set to try to get stops. Keyston makes a big 3. They push it in transition. They set a ball screen at a good spot. I thought Jay Milburn, actually going back and watching, did a great job of picking him up, and he makes a contested 15-footer on the baseline, which is an incredibly hard shot on the run. So like I said, you got to give them credit for making the shot that they made, and we got to learn from it and continue to get there to where whenever we get in these close games late that we're the team finishing moving forward.
You heartbreaking defeat, and I know as a coach you start to worry about the next day. You got a quick turnaround, and you had that 17-point deficit at Mount Vernon Naz. You overcome that, you take a lead, your guys battle back. So if anything, they get the win over Oakland City. As we look at those numbers, they've proven to be a resilient bunch to this point. But you come back there on Sunday, you get that big win over Oakland City. It was a tight game at halftime, Coach, and you're able to pull away in the second half over the Oaks.
Well, you know, going back a little bit for Oakland City, I even text you, sort of feel like in these close games we're sort of living a real-life Groundhog Day because we're so close. And you want to get to where you have a game where you get over the top, and we do. I think we have a resilient bunch. I mean, there's never been a waiver. They come in the next day, they're worrying about game plan, they're talking, encouraging, so we haven't lost faith, which is really good, and they realize that we're close. Oakland City, you know, went into the lead, a 4-point halftime lead, and I thought we played an incredibly good first half, offensively and defensively. We have a motto of, you know, chase them off the line, make them make tough twos, and they did. They made tough twos, and sometimes that happens. But the percentages, the rebounding, everything was really in our favor going into halftime. And I thought if we stayed the course, if we were more consistent in the second half than we have been throughout the year and defended the same way, I did think we would stretch our lead. I really didn't think we would hold them to 15 points in the second half and win that way, but it was really nice to see.
Well, Dalton Kramer, Jay Milburn lead the way for Campbellsville in the victory over Oakland City there on Sunday. And I've got to admit, I was at my family's Thanksgiving. I get up, grab a plate, come back, and all of a sudden it's 12 or 14 points, and it happened that quick. I know those are the performances that you like to see.
It is, and you know, the thing that we talked about before the game, you know, we go through our pregame stuff and our keys, but the very last thing that I had on the board, and I told him I think it's the most important, is the question, what are we going to be? Who are we going to be? And right now, our story is still being written. And right now, unfortunately, we're leaving some chapters unfinished. And it's time for us to make sure we stamp it and close the stuff and all that. And I said, you know, we have to finish this one today, sort of hit a reset because we have this time off to get back, but it's building off of every day now. And I thought our guys, I talked about the guys on the floor, our bench was incredibly in tune. You know, they talked about, a kill is 3 stops in a row. They wanted to get a kill to start, and I think we actually started out with 3 straight kills. We had almost 9 straight possessions of a stop. And when you get stops, it leads to transition. You make 1 or 2 shots, and we talk about contagious. It got contagious from the guys on the floor, the guys on the bench, and we used that momentum the right way.
The Tigers have finals week. They get a little rest. They also have reinforcements on the way. We'll step away, come back, and talk with the head coach about that. Stay with us here on Tiger Timeout.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Closeout segment on this week's edition of Tiger Timeout here on the Campbellsville University Sports Network. Matt Payton with you here in the studio as we visit with the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, and Campbellsville joins the rest of campus in finals week. The Tigers join the rest of campus finals week this week, Coach. This couldn't happen at a better time for you guys. You've got basically 2 weeks off, we'll call it, before you play again. So they've got this full week, and I know that you've desperately been seeking time to work on you guys and practice and work on Campbellsville and the Tigers. You get Cam Vick back. That's the reinforcements that we talked about. Tiger fans that followed last year, they know how dynamic Cam can be. The unfortunate injury, but it leads us to this point now, and he's back in the fold and a member of this group. And I know you and I talked on Sunday. Your guys were excited to know that it's time now.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those things that as a coach, you got to be very cautious, and you talk to our guys, and I've talked to them a lot. Cam Vick helps us. He makes us better, and our guys know that. He's practiced with us all fall and been as good, if not better, than anybody we've had. There's no doubt, and our guys can realize that. But we do have to understand he's not the savior. You know, you can't treat him like that from a teammate perspective and put that kind of pressure on him. And now Cam may want that pressure, and that's great, but he is going to make our team better. There's no questioning that. There's no doubt in that. But he can't fix everything. That's where we have to make sure we understand. I didn't bring it up Sunday. That I was just happy our team got a win. Our guys were excited. We broke huddle, and then Kobe Penny, he was the one that said it, and he sort of made they're happy for Cam. It's been really hard on Cam. You know, he's a competitor. He wants to win. He wants our guys to be successful. We have such a close group. It wasn't Kobe stating Cam's back, we're good. It was Kobe being happy that Cam Vick can do what he loves, and they were very excited, and it was good to see. And I joked, but it's maybe true. We may be early on 10 points better just from a mental standpoint of Cam Vick putting on a jersey, because sometimes when you have a player that could be dynamic like him, it gives your team an extra set of confidence. So I'm glad from that perspective. Cam Vick hasn't played a game in a year, though. There's going to be some rust. There's going to be some nerves. But we are very excited to have him back.
You know, I told this on the broadcast, a couple of broadcasts. I actually asked Cam, I said, is this worse than last year? He said, much worse, because I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm able to play. At that point, it was the injury. You've got to recover. You got to do all that stuff. But sitting back watching, knowing I'm capable of going,
Correct.
I've just kind of got this, logistical type of issue that I got to wait the semester out.
And that's the tough part. Last year, he wanted to play. He even tried early on, and he couldn't. So the red shirt happened, and now he's healthy. He's practicing every day. I give him credit, a guy who just loves the game of basketball. It doesn't matter what time I get into work. Cam Vick's already in the gym. I mean, he just, it's a craft for him. It's a passion for him. He's motivated. He works on every part of his game right now, conditioning, everything, and that's hard to do when you're sitting out. So we're excited to have him back. It's going to alleviate some pressure for some other guys. Should open the floor for some guys and make potentially getting some open shots better. And just having another body that is capable to help our team is going to be exciting.
Cam, normally getting shots after home games, when the Tigers wrap up, Cam is usually on the floor getting shots. Let's take a look at the matchups to come, the upcoming schedule for the Tigers. They've got some time off before Midway comes to the Powell Center on the 13th, but let's take a look at the totality of their schedule coming up the rest of this first semester. We'll actually get into some conference games for Campbellsville University, but Midway coming up, Coach, you'll have a matchup with IU Southeast. You also have Reinhardt on New Year's Day on the road, and then you get into conference play. So that gauntlet schedule now has offered some time to spread some things out and slow this schedule down a bit.
Yeah, the end of October and all of November, 12 games. December, 3 games. So we've got some time to recover. We got some time to really work on some things. After the game on the 17th, the guys get 6-7 days to go home, see some family, get mentally and physically recovered, and we're right back on the 26th to head to Reinhardt for a New Year's Day game. So we've got some time to really work on things, really try to fix some things and shore some things up, maybe change some things. I'm excited about it. It's one of those things as a coach, the last 2 weeks with so many games, you haven't had time to really go into practice and break things down. So we've got a list of things to work on, and I'm excited to get in the gym with our guys and do that.
Coach, enjoy this time working on the Tigers, and I look forward to the 13th as they'll welcome Midway here to the Powell Center. We bid you farewell this week. We remind you the Lady Tigers in action Saturday, 1 o'clock against Carolina University. The Tigers back on the floor again the 13th of December in the Powell Center against Midway. For the head coach of Tiger basketball, Brent Vernon, the Lady Tigers Ginger High Colvin, I'm Matt Payton. We'll see you next time on Tiger Timeout.